Yeah, I'm back for a little bit. Yeah, so I kind of disappeared. This is kind of one of the things that happens with me. I'm a disabled combat vet, so this is kind of one of the things that happens to me. Over time, I noticed that my channel was getting a lot of attention. Not necessarily like unwanted attention. I'm just not the kind of person that, I don't know. I'm not that kind of person. And you know, someone that would look at the videos would say otherwise. Trust me, it takes a whole lot of caffeine for me to even just get up here and talk to you guys. So that being said, you know, we'll talk about where I want to go. I'll probably try to get some input from you guys as to what you'd like to see, things like that. But for now, just a lot of things kind of happened, and it kind of pulled me off the face of the earth for a little bit. You know, COVID, right? That killed everybody. I was getting ready to make my next video. The next thing you know, next day, kids are home. You know, I'm doing online teaching with my kids, and it wasn't awful, but like it took a lot of my time. It really did. The other thing that happened is I got heavily involved in my jiu-jitsu gym. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 15 years now, as of March 16th. Got my brown belt back in August. I just got heavily involved, and you know, and then between that, staying at home with my kids, you know, helping getting them in school, it just kind of fell by the wayside. And then I noticed this week I had like 4 inquiries alone. Hey, can you contact me about this amp? Things like that. So I feel it only fair to you guys that are still watching this, you know, looking at my channel, waiting for something, to kind of give you an update, and maybe we can go in a different direction, because I moved away from the code. Now, that's not because it's an inferior amp or anything like that. I'll go into the story on why I moved away from the code. You know, and then we'll go from there. So I had a Les Paul, and you guys remember, you know, I've got Les Pauls, I've got ESPs, things like that, right? As you can see, kind of moved the way of Schecter. We'll go into that in a minute. So I had a Les Paul Classic, and I really wanted some hot pickups in there. I wanted a certain sound. I wanted some hot pickups in there, and I put them in there. I put Seymour Duncan, Nazgul, and Sentience, and you know, soldered them in myself with the quick connects, things like that. No problems whatsoever. The only thing that would happen was it just made some strange sounds. And I'll go into how we got that, and we got away from the Les Paul and more aggressive style guitars, things like that. So I put these pickups in, and they were good, but there was just this strange noise. And it almost sounded like, because the strings were too big, it just sounded like there was this weird harmonic coming from like the first fret, right? But I took it to the luthier. We did so many intonations. We raised them, just nothing we could get rid of. So finally he says, hey, you know what, bring your amp in and we'll see what's going on. So I bring my amp in, right? Code's pretty portable. I bring it in, we plug it in, there's that spring. Even if I would turn the pickup, the volume down to like a quarter, it was still there. Spring. Kill the tone, still there. I have no idea what's going on. So he's got a PV5150 big block. And he says, hey, plug it into this thing. Let's see what it do. Plug it in, sure enough, nothing. So what I'm going to say is this. The Code amp is a very good amp, but there is something in the modeling software, and if you like to heavily down tune, you know, if you're on a 6-string, if you're like down in A, you know, you're down further than that. You know, I want to say like Thou and Emma Ruth Rundle, they're down in like G standard, okay, on a 6-string. If you're down there, something about the Code, and this is just my experience, just won't do it. Called Marshall to no avail, and like many of you that are reaching out to me, they have no idea what's going on. Called Seymour Duncan, they're like, yeah, no, we have no clue, right? So it wasn't until I got into the luthier shop, thank God, you know, he was like, it's your amp. So I have I've moved the way of tubes, okay? That doesn't mean that I still can't help you guys with doing this, but here's what I'm gonna say about these Marshall codes, man. You're not gonna ruin these amps, okay? Unless you save that preset, you're not gonna ruin this amp. So play with the knobs, okay? But I'm more than happy to sit down with you guys and just figure it out. Figure it out with you, because I've had a ton of experience with that amp. I honestly think at some point I may keep one around just to have, so that I can help some of you guys, or I can develop some pretty cool presets. And that way, anybody that has any questions or anything, I can say, hey, okay, well, I've got the updated software just like you do. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm playing with, and we can do it that way. So far as me, I'll show you my rig in a minute. I have gone the way of tubes, and as you can see, I'm going the way of heavily down tuning. So what are we in? Drop G? Yeah. So I'm down around drop G with this thing. Playing a lot of Acacia strain, stuff like that. You know, Mastodon's still on my list. You know, my 6-string over there is down in a drop C, or maybe I was playing Mastodon, so maybe it's over in just D standard. I don't know. I don't want to pick it up. I'm kind of liking this thing lately. I'm looking at maybe getting an 8-string, putting Devin Schittaker from Acacia strain, his signature pickups in the bridge. I almost never use the neck pickup, so I don't really care. Yeah, so I'll show you my rig here in a minute, but that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, you guys feel free to reach out to me, you know, do what you need to do. I'm more than available. I don't have a lot of time to make videos anymore, and I'll do my best. I'd like to see in the comment section from you guys where you'd like to see me take this in the channel, because I do enjoy doing these from time to time. I do enjoy helping people. I'm not very creative when it comes to content. And that's really the long and short of it. I'm just not very creative when it comes to content. So what am I playing through, right? Everybody's like, oh, what's the magical $15 question? What am I playing through? I'm gonna let you figure it out on your own, okay? I've done some things to bring it back more to its true self, and yeah, that's really what we're doing. So, all right, I'll give some clues, things like that, and we can go from there. The reason why I don't have it up very loud when I was chugging not too long ago is because, well, it's a lot of wattage. Even tubes, you know, on the smallest volume, it here in a house, man, it's crazy. All right, so here's what we're playing with. All right, let's not knock anything over. All right, so you know, you take your guesses as to what I'm doing there. All right, I'm an old school guy, guys, so that should tell you just a little bit. Pedal section, right? Right now, this is what I'm doing. The Carolina Reaper is still very much in my inventory. That is a Donner Dark Mouse. It's supposed to be a version of a Rat, and of course I'm throwing a noise gate in there. All right, so let's post this back up here. I like the slow. Oh yeah, there's the kids' toys. All right, so that's what tells you it's really metal up in here, right? The kids' toys. All right. I like a lot of slow oscillating. I like a lot of fuzz when it comes to like doom, sludge, things like that. I like that sound. I don't really like the drone. I like it to have a slow oscillating fuzz. So what did I do, right, to get that sound that I wanted? Well, I started playing around. I started, you know, figuring out what pedal does what, right? And if you notice, you look at the Carolina Reaper, the gain is like almost turned down. And people are like, well, why wouldn't you throw, you know, a green pedal on there? I have one, actually. I have a Tube Screamer, original 808 circuit, and it's even got a bass boost on it. Since it's so old, the way that, even if I set it at the very bottom, it still flubs out. It won't chug like this does. It still flubs out. It makes that weird thong, thong. The Carolina Reaper, man, that's almost one pedal. I'm probably going to keep that thing until it just doesn't work anymore. I love that thing. And as you see, I just barely turned the gain up. Like I had it all the way down. I just touched it. And that was enough with the Rat, or the Rat clone, still LM308 chip, all right, to make it chug and not be so overbearing, and give me that slow oscillation, okay? Now, I don't really play up here. I don't shred. That's, you guys should know that by now, if you've watched the channel long enough. I don't shred. Do I want to? I don't know. I really like chugging. So, you know, I just love that sound. And if you get it set just right, you know, it's just great. Right? 7-string is going to do it heavily. You know, you're going to hear those flub, flub, but, you know. Right? You can play with it. Play with the noise gate. Have fun with it. That's what I'm setting up right now. When I use my 6-string, I basically just take the Carolina Reaper, And I don't even really use the fuzz section of it anymore. I really like the gain. Throw the noise gate on. I take the Carolina Reaper, put the gain probably about 11. The volume in the gain probably about 11. Gives me that classic PAF sound, even though I'm using active pickups on my Schecter. Still gets it. You just, you got to play with it. Biggest thing with this amp, like, and I'll tell you with any other amp, I love the Marshall, but if you wanted any kind of reasonable change, you really had to turn that knob a whole lot. And so when I was playing with this and I went to the store and I tried it out and made sure it was what I wanted, before we ordered it, man, I just barely touched the knobs, and it's just the biggest change. So yeah, yeah. So there's that. So here's where we're at. I can keep this channel open, right? And we can go from there. I can close the channel. I don't really care. I think there's some of you that still find these videos valuable. So I think leaving them there is the good thing. I think asking you guys what you would like to see in the future is probably the best thing. I'm not doing anything special anymore, guys. I'm here and I'm playing. I'm playing music that I like, and I'm having a good time with it. And I think that's what all of you should be doing. Instead of chasing somebody's tone, and I think I've said this before, instead of chasing somebody else's tone, I think if you can find what you're looking for, or get a bass, if you like that old school Metallica sound, get a bass, right? Bass line. And then make it your own, right? And then play those tunes that you wanted to play, that you started playing guitar for in the beginning, right? Play those songs. And along the way, I think you'll start to find yourself. And that's really kind of the big takeaway here was, I started searching for someone else's signature sound, Adam Jones, right? Everybody loves Adam Jones, right? The guy has, I don't know how many different amps, right? And you can buy all those amps in the world, and it's just, maybe you sound like Adam, maybe you don't. Find your own sound, okay? Now, I'm more than happy to help you find that, like get close. If you like Gojira, or if you like Mastodon, one of my favorite bands, I can help you get close. But here's the deal. All the equipment in the world, it's not going to do it for you, right? It's going to get you close to that sound, but you're never going to sound like that, because here's what big music isn't telling you. Those guys are using impulse responses, okay? They're not just using their straight amp, maybe Mastodon, but even now Gojira, they're using impulse responses. So it doesn't matter what equipment you buy, you're never going to be Gojira. You're never going to be Joe Duplantier, right? You get close. You get really close. But if you're one of those people that it has to be dead on, you're just wasting your time. I'm being honest with you. The world, the music world, the recording industry is going the way of impulse response. And so if you're just really heavily set on being, the next Kerry King or something like that, you're going to get close. I don't think you're going to get it, though. So that's not to distract you or detract you, I guess is the word, from doing what you're doing. By all means, have fun doing it. If that's what you like doing, you like spending all day turning knobs, go at it. Me, I'd rather sit here, chug away, and piss off my neighbors. So I'd like you guys to write below what you'd like to see, different combinations, things like that. I don't have a huge budget, right? I'm medically retired from the military. I don't have a huge budget. Okay, it's just where it is. People want to send me pedals, cool. You want to send me gear to try out, hey, cool, all about it. Otherwise, I'm just going to come in here, I'm just going to show you what I'm doing currently, my new revelation for this, for that, and that's what we're going to do. But yeah, if you guys want stuff to see, stuff, I'd like to kind of, get input. If you just want me to leave it up, and shut up and stop talking, cool, welcome to do that too. But that's pretty much what's been going on, y'all. Nothing special. Just living life. So I hope y'all have a good one. Let me know what you'd like to see down on the bottom down there. Let me, just give me an idea. I'd be more than happy to try to help you guys out as best I can. I'm going to go get some more coffee. Later.